Creative Art and Music Projects CAMPGround26 presents two concerts of Now Music today, Friday, March 6th. Works called for or commissioned by CAMP and its director Eunmi Ko, reflecting the latest use of extended techniques, among other things, in contemporary chamber creations from around the globe. Live streamed free of charge on the Vox Novus YouTube channel with Robert Voisey of Vox Novus on scene, conducting live interviews with the composers who are flying in for the occasion, the artist, and whoever happens to be there between sets, like the audience. So like going out and during a break, like you do when you're at an actual concert, you wander out in the lobby during the intermission, you talk to other people. So let me tell you about these two concerts today. The first of them is at noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, 6 o'clock in the evening here in Europe, and it takes place at an art place, an art gallery sort of place called Tempest Projects. Let me tell you about the different pieces that they will be doing. It's a list. They'll do A Real Buster by Dylan Findley, and that's performed by saxophonist Catherine Weintraub. On the tenor, it involves tenor saxophone, live electronics, and video of the silent film icon Buster Keaton. That's why it's called A Real Buster. Then they'll next do Prisms and Mirrors by Chicago-based composer Paul Novak. And that's performed by, there is a camp or creative art music project ensemble. And I'll give you their names for this piece, but in some of the others, where it's the ensemble, I'll just mention members of the ensemble. Juliana Idle on the flute, Calvin Falwell on the clarinet, Sini Virtinan on the violin, Yael Park on the cello, Kevin Von Kampen on percussion, and Eunmi Ko, the festival director, on the piano. This piece was commissioned by the Boston New Music Initiative, and it takes a single idea and then refracts it, we are told, through textural, rhythmic, and melodic transformations. So enjoy that. Next up is Next up is a piece called Retire, Retire. That's by a Korean composer, Youngjun Lee, and Eunmi Ko is originally from Korea too. And this is reimagining retirement in musical form, and it's Catherine Weintraub on the saxophone and Calvin Falwell on the clarinet. Then there's Into the Tree Waves by a composer-poet, Chen Hui Jen. And Eunmi Ko will be performing this herself, and it's like wind in the trees, distant chimes, moonlight stillness, solitude in nature with poetic subtlety, we are told. Then a piece called Kamal by Arjan Singh. This is a solo percussion piece that Kevin Von Kampen will perform it. It takes its title from the lotus flower, which in Sikh and Punjabi culture is a symbol of spiritual enlightenment. And it's percussion, percussive spiritual enlightenment. Then they have two more pieces that they're doing, which are camp ensemble commissions and world premieres. So the first is called Xenographie, spelled Zenographie, or Xenographia I, by Youshin Gim. And this is a street theater of sonic scenes made of integrated materials and gesture for saxophone, percussion, and piano. And then the final, two more pieces. Then they'll do Round Around Mountains. This is an ensemble commission, 5 miniatures for 4 instruments by John Liberatore, with various poems and texts serving as inspiration. That's the camp ensemble playing. And they'll finish up with Sang de Glacier, Blood of the Glacier, by Eunmi Ko from Singapore. And I'm wondering if she's related to Eunmi Ko, but probably not, because Eunmi is Korean and Emily is Singaporean. But it's about the pink hue of alpine snow, which is created by blooms of algae. And it has to do with what is perhaps the swan song of a melting glacier. That's all of that at noon today on the East Coast in the U.S., 9 in the morning on the West Coast, 6 o'clock in the evening here in Europe, and well, if you really want to hear now music, as I often say, this is it. This is now. You've got 2 world premieres, and all of this music is very much, very often it has an extemporaneous or improvisational quality to it. Then at 7 o'clock in the evening in Florida, 4 o'clock in Los Angeles, 1 o'clock here in the morning in Europe, I'm in Paris, eat your heart out, and 11 o'clock Saturday morning down under in Australia, they take the Campground 26 to the Disco Dolls studio. They're moving around different locations in Tampa, Florida, at the same time as playing all different kinds of music. Let me go through the music that they have programmed for this evening in Tampa. First, Chroma by David Acevido, and that's performed by a single violist, Sebastian Stefanovic, and this is live viola and then electronically processed viola playing up and back and interacting. And it involves what they call extended technique, which Robert Voisey tells me is things like plucked pitches and percussive knocks and transformed timbres. You start approaching the instrument as an object and finding out what sounds you can make with it other than the confined traditional sounds. Then they'll do a piece called Crash by Hungarian composer Daniel Dobri, played by flautist Juliana Idol. It's about changes in mood from euphoria to monotony and anxiety. Then My Mother's Right Eye Jumped by Matthew Huang Mailman. And this is performed by a cellist, Yael Park. He's in the ensemble, yeah. And it's a sonic storytelling about this Chinese superstition that a twitching left eye signals good luck, and you keep it a secret. And the twitching right eye warns of misfortune, and you need to share it to water down the misfortune. This is a right eye jumping. Then a piece called Core by Asher Lurie. For this, they bring in the University of Southern Florida, I think that's what it is, the USF Percussion Ensemble. This will be very contemporary, rhythmic loops, layered patterns, what they call post-minimalist techniques, but with progressive and math and rock influences. And then they have 2 more pieces. Ethereal Oasis by Bo Huang, played by violinist Sinni Virtanen. It's about the psyche of the urban captor, bound down by obligations, but longing for nature's tranquility. And then they finish up with another world premiere called No Sugar by Lansing McCloskey, performed by a string trio, actually. Sinni Virtanen on the violin, Sebastian Stefanovic on the viola, and Yael Park on the cello. I hope that's Yael and not Yale. Folks, that's what you have coming to you today from the Contemporary Art Music Project. And as I said, in case you missed it, we have pinned on all of our platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn, my about a 30-minute live interview that I did with Eunmi Ko there, and Robert Voisey, who you see beside me there in the photo. It was a very detailed exposure to, if you don't know this kind of contemporary chamber music, to a whole world of chamber music.